So I was chatting over on Instagram stories and I was asking you guys, I was like, do you guys like more of like an edited, like editorial video that's like, you know, highly edited and really thought out? Or do you guys like get ready with me's? And you guys were all like just plain get ready with me, simple, minimal editing. And I'm like, although it is less creatively fulfilling, I'm giving the people what they want. I'm still obviously planning on doing like more editorial, high fashion kind of stuff because that's the makeup that I love to do. But I also think there's, you know, I do see the value in just a good old get ready with me. Now there is so much construction going on outside, so if the audio is horrible, I'm so sorry. I'm still trying to figure out how I like to have my filming set up now that I'm in my new space. Here's a little sneak peek of the new condo. I'm gonna be doing an updated condo, apartment tour, all that stuff. It has just been the most chaotic last 2 months, I think, of my life. And I'm barely staying afloat, but I think I got through the worst of it and things are feeling a little more manageable now. Anyways, I have been traveling for about the last 2-ish months. Basically, whenever I was supposed to move, I've been gone for 2 months, so I haven't even been home and things are still not done. But I have been living out of this little travel case of makeup and this is all that I've been wearing on my face. Just the products inside here. So I really have streamlined my makeup application and just kind of really just picked my tried and true products that I know would survive traveling, different weather conditions, all of the things. So this is basically like my everyday makeup essentials slash my travel bag slash just the things that I like to put on my face. Let's catch up and do makeup. I hope you're watching this while you're doing your makeup, or maybe you're just sitting eating breakfast. I always love to watch Get Ready With Me as I'm doing my makeup because it makes me feel like I actually have friends and I'm doing my makeup with a friend. Relatable. Oh, I feel like you guys are gonna be a little, don't judge me because this is not in a great place right now. I also need to clean all my makeup brushes. They're just loosely thrown in here right now. So normally what I do when I start my makeup is I'll just put the brushes in the lid to kind of separate out. Brushes go in the lid, products stay in the bucket. Does that make sense? Anyways, I feel literally asleep right now, so maybe I should go make a coffee. That has been something that I've learned upon living alone. I've been too lazy to make like, what's it called? I have like a French press, but it makes like a giant pot of coffee. This is actually how I store my makeup brushes. I put a little elastic around them. But I've been too lazy sometimes to do the French press and make a big old pot, so I have instant coffee. And a recent discovery is that instant coffee isn't that bad. I mean, it's not the best, but it's not that bad. I think my standards of life have just gone down dramatically the past month or so. Okay, so first things first, I'm the realist. Ooh, what happened to Iggy Azalea? Love a good Iggy moment. Okay, so I love this Caudalie Beauty Elixir. It's kind of like, I mean, I think it's supposed to be like a facial kind of mist and spray, but I just use it more as like a meditative moment to just, you know, find peace at the beginning of my day. I don't necessarily always include this in my skincare routine or my makeup routine, but if I'm at home and I'm just gonna enjoy the process of getting ready, this is what gets me there. So this just smells like a spa and I absolutely love it. And Tori, my best friend, got me obsessed with this. So shouts out to you, Tori. That's a good one. Actually, what I'll do with this too sometimes before I hop in bed, I'll like pull back my sheets and then just kind of spray these like in my sheets and in my room. And it revives me every time. Actually, I feel a little more awake right now. Is there caffeine in that? I'm gonna take some Laneige sleeping mask. This is just the original flavor. I need to get the other flavors. There's like a green one that my friends are obsessed with and like an aqua one. But I love the Laneige sleeping mask. This is currently probably my favorite lip balm. I do like to believe that I am a lip balm connoisseur. Whenever anyone asks me, like, what's one beauty product if you could only pick one? I always say lip balm, which I don't even know if that counts as a beauty product, but lip balm is like my favorite thing ever. Ever since I was a young child, I've enjoyed a lip balm. Love a good lip gloss, but a lip balm is truly where it's at. I think I like it because it's kind of like a skincare product and a beauty product in one. And I would like to believe that I have tried a lot of lip balms in my life and I go through different phases. I used to be really hooked on the Bite Beauty Agave lip mask. That actually saved my life when I was on Accutane, so I love that. Had a phase where I was super into the Lush lip balms. I was using the Glossier coconutbalm.com religiously for a while, which I still do like that one. But the Laneige sleeping mask, I use it at nighttime, really slather it on, but I like to also use it in the daytime because it does just kind of look like you're wearing like a clear glossy kind of balm, whereas something like the Bite Agave lip mask is so thick on the lips that it's not necessarily the most comfortable for everyday use. Also, am I losing my voice? My voice sounds very coarse today. Okay, whew. We are ready to begin the application. So, the first thing that I always grab is a little bit of a primer. Now this is more of an essential when I am like on the go. If I know I'm having a busy travel day, or I'm just gonna be out in the sun all day and don't have time to like, you know, make sure that my face looks like it's staying on all day. I do go for the Benefit Professional. This is just a mini little travel size that I have here. And I just like to kind of focus this on the T-zone and my, where I frown. This is really good for helping minimize any lines. And also, I have a little bit of texture / pores on my nose, and this just really helps smooth everything over. And also helps grab onto your foundation and let it wear a bit better throughout the day. So my T-zone tends to be the area that loses any foundation or makeup product first. So I just kind of focus it on there. I don't really like to layer up too much product. You guys know I'm fairly, I mean, minimal with how I like my everyday makeup to look. Even though I do like to use like 800 products, I like it to look like not too cakey and heavy. And I try to do more like patchwork on certain areas versus like layers and layers. I just feel like, especially right now, and especially in the summer when I have a tan, my skin feels good. I don't want to cover it up. I spent so much of like my teenage years like hating my skin and layering on so much makeup, and I'm like, girl, why? I don't want to do that anymore. And especially now that my skin is feeling good, I don't want to cover it up. I just really want to let the natural I don't know what I'm saying this morning. I definitely need some coffee. Okay, I'm gonna be using MAC Face and Body. This is honestly my go-to foundation. I've been using this for years. I remember getting hooked on it when I was back in makeup school, and one of my instructors was basically saying, this is like the model foundation. This is what they've been using on models for so many years because it photographs like skin, but it's also very like lightweight and comfortable. And I started trying it then, and I've been hooked ever since. So this is an interesting foundation because this is probably one of my only foundations that I apply with a brush or even with my fingers sometimes. It just kind of depends on the day. But for the most part, if I'm wearing a more full coverage or a thicker foundation, I would use like a beauty blender. But the consistency of this product, it's honestly so runny, and I feel like it absorbs too much into the beauty blender. And it does set quite quickly, so I don't know. I just find using your fingers or a brush with this just like makes it look a lot better. And you can see I don't really use a lot. I focus it more towards the center of my face where I have the most discoloration, because I'm just using this to kind of even out the skin tone. I'm not really like layering it on, if that makes any sense. That is pretty much all I do for the foundation. I like to leave the perimeter clear because we're gonna go in with the cream contour. And like I said, I don't wanna have like foundation layer, then cream contour, then powder. I'm just gonna leave the areas empty where I know I'm gonna be putting like contour and things like that on. So that is that. The shade that I use right now is C3. C3 or the next shade darker is normally like my summer color. I do tend to get fairly tan, but I've been very good lately about wearing sunscreen, but even when I wear sunscreen, I still like naturally get a tan. Yeah, there we go. There is the first layer of makeup done. The next thing that I'm gonna do is the NARS Creamy Concealer. Again, another tried and true product. I've been using this for years. Now, this is the shade Macadamia, and recently actually I was at an event where Katie Jane Hughes, the iconic makeup artist, was there. We had lunch with her, and I was just like, I feel like chatting her ear off. But she was saying how she actually prefers to use concealer under the eye that's either the same tone as your skin or a shade darker versus lighter, which that is literally the complete opposite of what we hear everyone say. Everyone's always like, put your concealer 2 shades lighter to brighten up, and she's like, that's honestly just not what I believe in, and I never do that. And I'm obsessed with her makeup look, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start trying that. There's just so many things with makeup I find you kind of get into a routine of, and you don't ever like re-examine your approach or the technique, and that concealer thing was that for me. Actually, I'm gonna start by using a beauty blender here. And so I started doing this the past week, and I was like, whoa, it actually looks like way better and way more natural. I mean, there still are moments, if you want to be like super contoured and highlighted, sure, you want to go a few shades lighter. But for someone like me, where my everyday makeup is just kind of like a natural, enhanced, best version of yourself kind of makeup, I actually have really been liking going a shade darker. It's so weird. You would never think of it, but I'm telling you. it is just the way to go. Now I still kind of like to drag it down on like an upside down triangle technique, but that's just habit, honestly. I'm gonna take whatever I have left over on this and just go over the eyelid. I do have quite veiny eyelids. Like, I feel like my skin is very thin. Like, you can see on my wrists, my hands, on my face, like all of my veins and anything going on underneath. So I'm just convinced I have very, very thin skin. I actually remember once, I must have been in like grade 2, and one of my friends, we were like, I don't know if it was recess or lunch or whatever, and she's like, Jaclyn, you have purple marker all over your eye. And I was like, what are you talking about? I haven't used purple marker today. Like, what are you saying? And then she brought me to the bathroom and she's like, look on your eyelid, look at the purple. You have like a cool pattern. And I was like, that's just my eye. Like, that is not marker. But that's so weird how you remember these distinct stories. I've been traumatized about my eyelids ever since grade 2, long story short. So yeah, like I said, it has been a crazy month. I don't think I've traveled more. I think I've been on 17 planes in the past 2 months, which is not something that I'm gonna complain about. I grew up always dreaming of traveling, and the fact that I get to do this for work is like crazy to me. But it has just been go, go, go. I literally was in South Korea when I got this place, and thank God for my parents. They really helped me out. They like got the keys and like did all like the back end stuff that needed to get done the day that I got possession. But it's just been like chaos. And I was in South Korea. I came home for like 1 day, and then where was I next? I was in New York for a week, literally came home for 1 night, then was in Calgary, then where was I after that? Oh, then Montreal, then up north. Like, it has just been go, go, go. And also ended it off with so many festivals, which has been so much fun. But like, Tori once said something really honestly revolutionary, and she's like, you know, cheesecake is great, but when you eat cheesecake too often, you kind of get sick of cheesecake. And I was like, whoa, it like I was like, this is a very quotable thing. And it's so true. It's been like too much fun lately, which this is gonna sound unrelatable. I don't know, whatever. This is just like my truth and how I've been feeling. There's just been like so many fun things going on, whether it's been festivals and like different celebrations and all this fun stuff, that I like truly need a break from having fun. And I don't know, to me, sometimes it also becomes a bit more stressful because, I mean, I can't really take time off work. I always have to be, you know, meeting different campaign deliverables or doing work and all this stuff, which is fine because I love what I do. But people don't see like the behind the scenes when I'm on a plane, and even though it's only like an hour flight, I'll like be on my laptop editing. And then when I'm in the taxi getting to my hotel, I'm editing in the car, and you're just kind of like making it work on the go, which is like the most chaotic feeling, and there's never really any off time. But it's what they always say, work hard, play hard, and that's the only way that I've been able to do so many fun things lately and have like more of a social life, is because literally in any free downtime, I'm working, or I'll leave. I left a festival early to get home and post a video, and these aren't, I mean, sacrifices by any means. Like, my job is, again, so much fun, but I think people don't necessarily see all the back end stuff. And I'm like, yes, I may be having so much fun, but I'm also scheduling in like an 8-hour work day on top of this like crazy, actually kind of work day as well, because when you're out at these events and festivals, sometimes, you know, there's work to be done. But yeah, it's just been go, go, go. Absolutely crazy. But that's also, I always go into summer knowing that summer is like the craziest time. And then also in terms of like just also having a life and seeing my friends, and a lot of my friends are either off school or have some free time in the summer. So everyone's been like trying to hang out and like catch up, which has been so fun. But I'm like, yo, I'm literally never home. Like, it's not that I don't love you, but I have moved into a new house. I've had it for 2 months, and I've spent 2 nights here. So it's just been a little crazy. And I've been trying to balance my mental sanity in between all of this, but I just know like this is just like a little bit of a storm, and it'll pass. And really, I always say this, my job, I'm not saving lives. I'm not a doctor. I get to make videos putting makeup on the internet. So I'm very, very lucky. I really am. But still, things do get a little crazy. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in shade 2 medium, and I have used so much of this. I love this product. I actually switched off of the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I still have it, but I've just been loving this a bit more, especially for travel. I find it's a bit more compact, which is why I chose it. But since I've been forced to use this for the last few months because it's been what's in my bag, I've really just kind of fallen back in love with it. So love that. now I kind of do my makeup a little bit like out of order, I guess people would say, because I did powder and now I'm going back in with the cream. When I did powder though, I did more just like the central points of my face, whereas now I'm going to do the perimeter of my face with the creams. So really this area of my skin, it didn't even really have foundation on, but it's also not set. So I'm just using, this is a Benefit Quickie Contour Stick. I've had this for years, but again, just kind of fallen back in love with it because it's what I threw in my makeup bag. So I'm just gonna do forehead, cheeks. I don't really use this as a contour. I use this more as a bronzer because this has a lot of warmth to it. So I'm gonna go back in with that foundation brush that I used, and this brush is actually so good. This is the It Cosmetics like dual-ended foundation brush, and ooh, I'm telling you, for travel, it is the way to go. So I'm just gonna start by taking the brush and lightly buffing in the product. And when I do this, it's less of like swiping, it's more like kind of stippling, but also being intentional with the direction as you're doing it. So I'm kind of stippling and pushing upwards. When you kind of think of like a cheekbone and the shape of your cheek, it's not a line going across. Like, you see people contour and they're like, I'm just gonna put a line across my cheek and call that contour and try to make a shape. And that's just not how the actual skeleton of your face works. It is like rounded and curved, and it kind of sweeps upwards. So I like to kind of scoop the cheek and create that shape a little bit with the bronzer as I'm going through. And that just honestly makes it look a lot more natural and kind of emphasizes the natural shape of your cheekbone anyways. Now I like to do a little bit of this just on the jawline. This just kind of makes that jawline pop a bit more, but also blends the foundation to your neck and makes things look nice and cohesive. So it's been so crazy lately. The podcast that Tor and I have been doing called Potty Talk, which if you haven't seen, go check it out. It's been kind of like our little passion project. We've been having the most fun while doing it. We kind of started it off with not a real business plan or any intentions to make it a thing, and we just truly wanted to do it and have fun and basically record our conversations as best friends and just put it on the internet. And then it kind of quickly snowballed into a way bigger production than we intended it to kind of turn into. And now that we're on season 2, we actually are in studio and we film it every Wednesday, and we go into this beautiful fishbowl studio at Much Studios, and we've been having like so much fun kind of upping the production quality of it. And now we have like these fancy mics and all this cool gear, and it feels like we run a little baby TV show now, which actually maybe without us even knowing, that's kind of what we I think wanted all along. Me and Tori always used to joke, we're like, we need to have a talk show one day or do a show, and now Potty Talk is on a very low level scale becoming that. But yeah, I don't know, it's also just, it feels like this podcast has been a really great different kind of avenue to showcase another side of myself, because I feel like you guys, I mean, you see me in these videos, you see me on like Instagram and whatever, and those are all very specific versions of myself. And you know, Instagram is so edited, and even my videos, they're very curated, and I'm very intentional about what I'm putting out there, whereas this podcast feels like I can just truly be off the cuff and unfiltered and say what I really mean and have a conversation with my best friend. And I'm not thinking about, oh, like, is this like the most advertiser friendly way to approach this, or is this the most brand friendly, whatever. Like, we're just literally talking. And it's been really interesting too to see how that kind of connects with some of you guys a bit more, because I feel like my main YouTube demographic, according to the analytics, say that it's 17 to, oh, what's the age bracket? 17 to 24 are the majority of my viewers, and then 13 to 17 being the second biggest age bracket. So I'm curious, if you're watching this, how old are you? Do those numbers make sense? But now it's been really interesting. Our podcast is a bit older of a demographic, and it kind of makes sense because, I mean, we're talking more about our everyday lives, and we're, you know, I'm 21, Tori just turned 23, and it just feels so authentically us. And the word authentic is so thrown around these days, but it really is. And it's been just so interesting to see your messages even on like Instagram DMs, and you guys are saying how you're really connecting to what we're saying, or just like how it's providing you entertainment on the way to work or like on your commute. And I don't know, it's just been like really crazy. It was really funny. I was moderating this interview with this artist. His name is Harvey. I don't know if you guys are Harvey fans or not. It was really cool. I was working with Universal Music, and I arrived at the venue, and there was a bunch of fans, obviously, for Harvey. He was doing like a little musical performance and fan Q&A. It was a really cute little thing. And I got there, and as soon as I walked in, this one girl, she was so sweet. She comes up to me, she's like, oh my God, I was just listening to Potty Talk literally like an hour ago. I just listened to the newest episode. I didn't even know you were gonna be here, kind of thing. And it was so, I don't know, it was weird. I feel like I meet a lot of you guys from just like watching my YouTube videos, but the podcast one really just, I don't know why, it really just like kind of struck a chord, and I was like, whoa, people actually listen to, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's like we're talking for 50 minutes, literally saying nonsense and just literally shit talking yourself. That's the premise of the show. And then to like meet one of you guys in real life, I was like, oh, it's literally on my phone right now. I was just like, I can't even explain it. I'm not doing a proper job because I am not caffeinated, but that really just, I don't know, it blows my mind sometimes. It's always just an interesting thing to like realize that what you're doing actually impacts real people, because, you know, you see usernames, but like when you see someone in real life, you're like, oh, that's actually a human. And I think it's actually a good reminder too, like it's reasons like that when I'm ever feeling overwhelmed with like life or like my workload or just like things going on, I'm like, oh, this is like bigger than just me, if that makes any sense. I don't know, it's very crazy to me. Very, very crazy. Okay, I'm moving on to powder bronzer now, just to set that in place. This is the Benefit Hoola bronzer, the powder one. And this is a really interesting product because I remember when I first tried this like 4 or 5 years ago and it was all the rage on YouTube. I actually hated it. I didn't think the color was right. I didn't understand why there was no shimmer in the bronzer. Like there was so many questions, and now it's been my go-to. So it's just interesting how your opinions on products change. It's also why I do keep a lot of my makeup that I've tried and say it's not really like the product for me. I'll keep it around for a bit because I'll end up like rediscovering it and then like loving it, and it makes no sense. I'm like, it's, I don't know. I guess though, like makeup techniques and your interests in makeup and what you want out of your makeup look is always changing. And you kind of don't really realize it because it's so gradual, but it's like, oh, 4 years ago, I would exclusively wear full coverage foundation. And now you couldn't pay me to wear full coverage foundation. But it always changes. The seasons, the weather, my skin, my confidence, and my, like, all these things affect it. So it's very interesting. I'm just kind of going down the bridge of my nose as well. I've like always chronically hated the width of my nose bridge, which sounds very oddly specific, but I've always just thought it was a little like blobby and undefined. So lately I've been kind of trying to like dabble into, not necessarily contouring it, but like adding a bit more shade and kind of defining it a bit more. And I find that suits my face a bit better. So just a bit of bronzer, nothing very precise. Again, I'm going in on this big fluffy brush. I actually love this brush as well. This is from Studio 10. It's a double-ended brush, but I'm just kind of like almost putting it where you would get kind of sun-kissed and just kind of blending that into the sides of the bridge. So that's looking like that. So see how the skin still looks like super natural. Can't really tell that I'm wearing a million products. Okay, next up what I'm gonna do is we're gonna take kind of like a loose, fluffy blending brush. Loose, fluffy blending brush. That could be a song. So this brush here is from Inglot, one of my favorite blending brushes of all time. This is the 6SS brush. It's just like a big fluffy brush. I feel like MAC does a very similar one, but for some reason I don't like the MAC one as much. This is just like nice and dense and the shape is perfect. So I just kind of like loosely tap in there. I also tap on the mirror to kind of disperse the product. Some people like to blow on their brushes. That just has always felt very unsanitary to me. So I just kind of lightly dust that into the crease of the eye. And I'm not really playing with the shape at all. I'm just honestly letting the brush kind of do the work, and with a lot of light pressure. You can kind of see I'm holding more the end of the brush versus like a pencil really close, just like that. And then just kind of letting the natural shape do the work. And I find for me, I really like monochromatic makeup looks, especially for day to day. So whatever I'm using as a bronzer, I always put on my eyes, and I use a very similar tone on my lips normally. I just feel like it's a very modern approach to makeup to make it all feel very cohesive. And that's just what I find flattering. Now, I do have quite a large brow bone, so I always I'm not afraid to kind of drag it outwards and up, and I find that just kind of gives me like a little bit of lift there too. So I just take whatever's left over and just kind of fan that out. Next thing I'm gonna do is take a little kind of like pencil crease brush, dipping back into the product and just dragging a little bit of that on the outer third of my lower lash line. I don't like to put too much shadow on the inner part just because I find that makes my eyes look very round and it kind of pulls it down like that. Whereas I like I said, a bit more lift to happen. So by just focusing on the outer third, it kind of helps reinforce that shape. Now a little secret, I take a little bit of Hoola bronzer on that pencil brush again. Bottom lip underneath. Get ready for this, guys. Do you see that? Girl, it looks like I just got my lips done. I've never had my lips done. Honestly, the most fascinating thing about makeup is how you can kind of create optical illusions and really change the shape of your face. That is shocking to me. Gets me every time, really. Okay, the next thing that we're gonna do is a little blush moment. This is from Nude Sticks. This is the Nudie Bloom Poppy Girl cheek color. This was actually created in collaboration with Mary Phillips, who is another makeup artist that I am obsessed with. So great work, Mary and Nude Sticks. Love this color. I pretty much only, Yo, I actually have a problem. Whenever I turn on the camera, I start dropping things, and I swear I'm not this like klutzy in my day-to-day life. The camera just gets me nervous, I guess. Anyways, this color, I don't really wear if I'm pale. Like, this is a little too pigmented and bright of a color, but when I am tanned, this is my favorite cream blush ever. You guys know I've been a fan of cream products for like the longest time, so I'm such a cream blush fanatic, and it just makes your skin look so healthy. So I'm just taking this, again, all in the same brush. When I travel, I'm very minimal with my brushes, and I just reuse it all. So I'm just starting kind of on like the high points of the apples, and then I'm just gonna kind of diffuse that out and stamp it out. And I can go heavy-handed with blush. I always start by going with a lot of blush, and then it fades quickly in the day. I find blush is like the quickest thing on my face to fade. So I'm not afraid to start a little crazy with the blush. And I'm just literally tapping this on top. And you really don't need much. It's truly so pigmented, which I like. And you can use this also on your lips and on your eyes. I've just been pretty much using it on my like cheeks and on my face, but the world is really your oyster. Whatever I have left over on my brush, I'm just gonna kind of stamp over the bridge. And again, this just kind of makes it look like you've had a little time in the sun. I always want my makeup to look like I've been out, maybe sweating a little bit. Like a little bit of like a healthy flush. I don't want to ever look like very flat. I want it to look real and like skin. And that's really important to me. Sometimes I'll take a little bit of this, bring a little through the crease, a little bit just on like the part of my forehead where it starts to like have the curve. Do you see how that looks very natural? And the joke of it all is doing natural makeup actually takes the most effort. To do full glam, it's very, I don't want to say easy, it's just a different type of skill set, but it takes 10 times more time to do natural makeup because you're really focusing on having no harsh lines. So the irony in that is just hilarious. Now, if I know I'm gonna be out all day, I would reinforce it with a powder blush. The powder blush that I've been loving is this like really bright and crazy one in the Charlotte Tilbury kind of like, I don't know what this even is, the Glowing Pretty Skin Palette. It has powder, contour, blush, and glow. It honestly is great for traveling because it has 2 different options of highlight, 2 different blushes, and the Film Star Bronze and Glow, and then a setting powder if you need it. I don't really feel, maybe I'll do a little bit of powder blush on top today, just to kind of reinforce it a bit more. And I take this on a little Luxie brush. It's actually a highlighting brush. I prefer smaller brushes for blush. Smaller brushes for brush. Oh, smaller brushes for blush. That is a tongue twister. And I'm just gonna focus this more on like the center point. And this really shouldn't be changing the color too much. This is more like just kind of setting that powder in and making sure that it's gonna last all day. Now, this is totally random and off topic, but I've been in a mild crisis with my nails lately. I feel like I really take pride in having cool nails, and that's just something that creatively to me is like a way to express myself. I love having really dope nails, and I go through phases of having long extensions and gel nails, and then I've been doing shorter nails lately with just gel polish. But I've been like, I haven't had my nails on for probably like 2 or 3 weeks, and they're just disgusting right now because I've been camping and just like very much so like doing activities that require hands-on. So my nails have not been a thing. But I can't decide if I should just stick to short nails and just paint them cool and get cool nail art, or if I should go back to like some type of claw situation. I'm very at a loss right now, and you know, it's a very big problem right now. Now next up, we're gonna do a little bit of a brow moment. I like the Benefit 24-hour brow setter. Now I really love the whole like soap brows trend, but the problem with that is if you are trying to wear your makeup all day, if you're sweating, if you get caught in the rain or any inclement weather conditions, is that the word? Your brows will fall out because it's just soap. So I really like this 24-hour brow setter because it kind of feels like glue for your eyebrows. Whoa, I am at a loss for words today, guys. So I actually have been liking to put on the eyebrow gel first, which is completely backwards to how I normally would do my makeup. But like I said, I've been very, I've been exploring doing different techniques and trying to get out of the rut of the routine that I've been doing. So I kind of like to put the product on and then gently kind of fan them up. I like the look of very fluffy, more undone brows now. I was watching some of my old YouTube videos from probably like 2015, 2016, and oh my God, who let me do my eyebrows like that? It was when like Anastasia dip brow, like big fade eyebrows were in, and I did them so crazy. It's actually kind of, it's repulsive to look at. And they were so dark and like, oh my goodness. And I thought, the worst thing is I thought at the time they were great. I was like, ooh, brows on fleek. And I'm like, now in current day, I cannot even bear to look at it. It is tragic, very tragic. Okay, so the brows always look a little weird at this point. So see, I've kind of like brushed them up. I hope you can see the texture and the difference just from the clear brow gel. Now I do like to kind of wait and let this kind of set and dry down for probably about 3 to 4 minutes. And I have to say my left eyebrow has just been a lot better than my right eyebrow lately. I don't understand it. I've grown you the same, I've treated you the same. How are you so much more well-behaved? I don't know. Oh yeah, so much better. Do you guys have a favorite eyebrow? Mine is definitely my left. This right one just gets a little wonky. Okay, so I'm gonna let those dry and I'm gonna move on to some eyes quickly. So I kind of rotate whatever kohl pencils that I use. I love the Charlotte Tilbury iconic liquid eye pencil in Barbella Brown. I use this more in my waterline, but lately what I've been liking for kind of my lash line, I just had this, where is it? Sometimes I actually, oh, I see it. I was gonna say, I think I'm actually crazy. This is the new NARS High Pigment Longwear Eyeliner, and this one is in Mulholland Drive. And I'm pretty sure this doesn't come out till their fall collection comes out, which it could be out now, I actually don't remember. But it's just a really gorgeous, rich, warm brown. There's a bit of shimmer inside. So I kind of like to start the eyeliner by doing kohl underneath and then going with a liquid liner on top. Which if you would have told me that I'd be wearing a liquid liner a few years ago, I would never believe you. I was so against it for the longest time. But lately I've just been loving more of like a graphic eyeliner. So I'm gonna start with an angled little brush and kind of diffuse that out. This also is kind of like a bit of a guide for where my liquid liner is gonna go. But I find smoking out a pencil first just makes it a bit softer and less harsh, especially since the rest of the skin is so natural and not very contoured or heavy. It can be a bit jarring to just have a very intense, bold eyeliner. So smoking it out a little bit just kind of helps it be a bit more digestible, honestly. And then I just kind of stamp whatever I have left over on the brush and kind of drag it in a bit more, but I really do focus the majority of the color on the outer third as well, just to accentuate that more almond shape. So just kind of like that. See the difference? It does kind of like lift up the eye a little bit. Okay, now I'm just gonna kind of throw you up right off and change up the pace. We're gonna go in and do some little freckles just on the nose. Now I've been liking using this Benefit Precisely My Brow lately, and this is in the shade 3. And I just kind of like dot this on and like sporadically, you know, draw some little freckles. So I just kind of go like that. And then with the warmth of my fingers, I just kind of stamp it a little more into my skin. And then with a bit of bronzer, I just kind of reinforce over top the product. This just kind of sets it, but also, like I said, kind of gives you that kind of sun-kissed bridge of the nose, which is what I love. Okay, time for some liquid liner. I have had this specific tube of liquid liner for so long. I don't know how it has lasted this well. This is the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner, the micro tip, which is like the little mini one. So this is the felt tip liner. It's really easy to apply on the go. I defo can't talk as I do this. Then what I do when it's kind of still a bit wet, I go back in with the angled brush and just kind of soften out the front of the eyeliner. And I don't bring the eyeliner all the way in, I kind of stop at that point there. Okay, so something like that. I don't think it's very even, but I just doing a liner on the other side, it's just so awkward. It never comes out right. Stand by this, I always say this, I am so much worse at doing my own makeup. I feel like I'm way better at doing other people's makeup because I'm right-handed, so I can like work right-handed on the entire face. Whereas when it's on yourself, you're definitely kind of like changing the angle of how you hold your tools. And I go with a little eyelash curler. Now I have kind of changed up the mascara that I've been using. I feel like I was using Glossier Lash Slick for basically ever since it came out, actually. That was like literally the only mascara that I was using, and I still love it. I still love it. I did get sent this one in PR. This is the new Urban Decay Perversion Waterproof Mascara, and for some reason I was just like tempted to use it just because I love a good waterproof mascara. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And you know what? I actually have really been liking it. It's quite different from the Glossier one. The Glossier one is very thin and doesn't really like bulk up the lash too much, but it keeps it very separated and very natural looking. It's not clumpy at all. Whereas this one is a bit more volumizing and can be a bit more clumpy, but I've kind of been like into that look a bit lately. So I've been using it a ton. And I also just like that this one is fully waterproof, whereas the Glossier is like water resistant. And I don't have any smudging issues from that, but this one just gives me a bit more peace of mind. So it looks like this, big fluffy brush. And I just like to do 1 or 2 coats on the top lashes. And I do not have good lashes naturally. Like, they're not long, they're not anything to be envious of, but you can really just see the difference just with 1 coat of mascara. How much that does. Now I am feeling like I need a little bit more bronzer just in the crease, so I'm gonna go back in with the Hoola and just place a little more. It's really weird. I've been super not into using a lot of eyeshadow. I used to always wear like shimmery golden eyeshadows, and I loved eyeshadows. But unless I'm doing like a really bright color, like I love doing like a neon lid, like whether it's like solid pink or like a hot green, lime green. I don't really like ever do shimmery eyes anymore. But again, maybe it's just a phase. Maybe I'll come back to it. But I've been loving more of like a softer eyelid like that. Nothing too cray-cray. Now, it depends on the day. I'll do bottom mascara. Some days I won't. I'm gonna do a little bit just on the outer part of the lashes. Okay, now we're gonna finish up the brows. I have the Benefit Ka-Brow here. You can also use Anastasia Dip Brow, just whatever kind of brow pomade you have. This one I have in shade 3, which is actually a better color for me, which is why I'm using this. Although I think I prefer the Anastasia formula. Just the shade that I have in that is way too dark right now. So what I'm gonna do is take a little angled brush, dip into the pomade. I actually normally like to work the product actually on the back of my hand. I find the warmth really helps. And I'm just gonna kind of go in and do little brush strokes through. Through any little bald spots. And I go very light-handed with this. I think I've been scarred by all the pomade use in my earlier days. Okay, so there are the brows. It's honestly nothing too drastic. I just find this area, like the tail of the brow, tends to get a bit more sparse. So it's really just kind of mimicking those like hair strokes through that area to just kind of bulk it up a little bit, but you're not really changing or adding to the shape too much. And that way it feels still like very much so your face and your natural, the natural shape. So love that. Okay, we are almost done. I'm gonna go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Kohl Pencil. You could honestly use the other one. This one I find just actually wears a bit better in the waterline. Subtle difference, but a difference. It's actually like my personal pet peeve of mine when I see this amazing makeup look and then I see an empty upper waterline. I just feel like it makes your lashes and the liner all come together, and especially if you're wearing a strip fake lash, I feel like it looks so much more fake if you don't fill that in. So, ooh, it's just, I have to do it. I have to do the upper waterline, always. Okay, we're gonna finish things up with a little highlight, a little lip, and then we're done. I feel like I've been taking my sweet time today, but I swear I can do it quicker, okay? So I'm gonna go in with the Nude Sticks Hey Honey highlight. This is amazing, especially I find it goes good with the tan. Again, I probably wouldn't wear this when I'm a bit more pale, but where I'm at right now, I'm loving this color. It's a really golden and yellow highlight, and it's kind of like this amazing jelly kind of texture. Feels really good on the skin and reflects light beautifully. Now, no matter how much makeup you put on, how full coverage your foundation is, if you use like a cream highlight to finish off, I feel like it makes the skin look so much more like skin and just like, ooh, she healthy, she hydrated, she glowing, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 I love a bit of highlight. We're gonna put some on the inner corner here, just a little bit. And even that just kind of makes you look a little more awake. Do a little bit on the brow bone. I don't like too much on my brow bone just because, like I said, I do have larger brow bones, so don't want to add too much more volume up there. A little bit on the Cupid's bow. I always highlight the Cupid's bow. Love a good shimmery mustache moment. And then with whatever I have left over, I'm going to do a little bit on the nose. Just a bit. I'm gonna go in with my all-time favorite lip color, which actually, that's a lie. Sometimes I use Pillow Talk, which is my other all-time favorite lip liner. I use this when I'm a bit paler. When I have a tan, Makeup Forever Aqua Lip Liner in 2C is my jam. I have maybe 8 backups of these in my house right now. I cannot live without this lip liner. Even if I'm not wearing makeup, I'll just put a little bit of this on my lips just to kind of define them, and it just is a game changer. Let me show you. So that is the lip liner. I just love the color of it. I feel like it makes my lips look so good. I love the formula of this product. It wears really well. I normally will honestly wear this with just like a little bit of lip balm on top. I'll put the Laneige back on, or a clear gloss. I actually have a gloss that I've been loving lately. It's in my purse, so let me go get it. So I've been using, ooh, actually I like the Fenty lip gloss a lot as well. But my current favorite lip gloss is this Nude Sticks one. Oh, whoa. My favorite is this Nude Sticks one. It is the Lip Glacé in Nude 04. Now the formula of this is incredible. There's peppermint inside, so it kind of like naturally adds a little bit of a plumping and cooling effect to your lips. But I also just love the shade of it. It feels very comfortable on the lips, but it also just goes perfectly with that lip liner. It smells so good. Are you seeing this juiciness action? It's just so good. It's so reflective and like glossy, and there's no shimmer inside, which I like. I normally prefer a lip gloss that doesn't have shimmer, but the color is just so good and it feels so good, and it just makes me so happy. I absolutely love that product. I think it's incredible. Now I'm looking for, oh, here we are, my setting spray. I always like to finish off with the Urban Decay All Nighter. This is my favorite setting spray of all time. It just makes your makeup wear really well. And honestly, I'm just a lazy person. I never touch up my makeup throughout the day. Like what goes on now stays on all day. And I never fix anything. Maybe a lip gloss if I'm like done eating a meal, but that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna spray this all over. Whew. That also brings me peace at the end of my makeup when I just like do the final spray. Okay, I don't think I've forgotten anything. I think this is it. So that is pretty much my everyday makeup. It's, yeah, that's it. On the rare occasion, I might change out the lip color for something like a bit brighter, if I'm gonna do like a red orange. Now, even if I'm just gonna do like a crazy more bold eye, if I'm doing like a graphic one color eyelid or like a bold liner, I pretty much will keep the makeup base the same. I'll just change out the eye. So yeah, this is honestly like my the go-to products, the techniques. This is the summer look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think it was very rambly slash I don't even remember what I said. I need some more sleep, I think. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'd actually love to hear what your go-to lip gloss is right now, because I feel like I found the one, but I'm curious. I feel like I don't try that many other lip products because I do love this one so much. So let me know what lip gloss you guys have been loving lately. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope your makeup turned out good if you were doing your makeup as you were watching this. Thanks guys so much for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, do all the things, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!